All right, say what's up.
All right, so the title of my speech today is The Collegiate Professional. Should college athletes be paid? It wanted to persuade you. Take a moment of your time today. In the world of modern day athletes, many kids will watch as their idols perform some pretty amazing feats of athleticism and teamwork. These kids will put in the work on and off the field to hopefully earn a coveted D1 college scholarship. Once they finally make a roster spot on a collegiate team, they are forced to follow a strict set of rules and guidelines set forth by the NCAA. College athletes are no longer able to be free in a sense. They are not allowed to take any form of incentive for their job. Even accepting a meal from the coach would bring forth serious consequences from the NCAA. Although the athletes themselves are not allowed to receive any type of aid or funding, the college will make millions upon millions off the backs of the so-called student athlete. The athlete themselves are told that a free education is reimbursement enough for their service. According to an article titled NCAA Tops $1 billion in Revenue During the 2016-17 School Year by ESPN, the majority of revenue came from its usual source, the NCAA men's basketball tournament. The NCAA pulled in $761 million from the 2017 NCAA tournament. That number is set to rise to $869 million in 2018. Of course, not a single athlete was paid. The problem with not paying college athletes is that there are so many who will not get the chance to go pro. How small is that number, you may be asking? Well, the amount that go pro are less than 2%. Another serious issue with not paying these athletes is the risk of injury. All too often, a kid who spends his entire life dedicated to becoming a professional athlete can all be taken away in the blink of an eye. An alarming number of these student athletes are also being taken advantage of in the classroom. Many will just be pushed along in the classroom so that they can suit up for game day. In an article published by the New York Times 2014, the University of North Carolina was under investigation for sending their student athletes to fake classes. The counselors convened a meeting of the university's football coaches using a PowerPoint presentation to drive home the notion that the classes had played a large role in keeping underprepared and or unmotivated players eligible to play. According to a report released by the university on Wednesday. With student athletes getting at least a minimum wage salary for their services in uniform, the more athletes would be willing to perform better, not only in their sport, but also in the classroom. The college itself wouldn't lose much revenue either. According to an article titled, "This is How to Pay College Athletes, 2018, by Deadspin, if the price of attracting talented football and basketball players rises, schools would respond by cutting other sports and thus incurring backlash, bad publicity, and ire from alumni and fans alike. Or alternatively, they could simply spend less on coaches, administrators, and building new lavish facilities, none of which count as fixed costs. How come these colleges can afford to pay the ridiculous salaries of the coaches and staff, but can't afford to pay the athletes themselves? This can be changed in the near future, but how much longer are we going to set these kids up for failure when all they eat, sleep, and breathe is their respective sport?" Now I bet you're wondering, what can you do to help? Unfortunately, there's not much we the people can do other than try to convince the NCAA that a change must be made. All we can do really is either hope that the NCAA will come to their senses or possibly try to reach out to a politician to look at forcing the NCAA to change. Thank you.